But actually, on that note, so monetizing yourself as a professional guitar player, I went through your website. I see, so you got lessons running, you got the tabs, which of course are just donations, and then you have your YouTube channel, which you're getting your monetizations. Like that's a lot of income streams. And I know you talked about an interview where he's like, well, it kind of just happened because people were like, oh, I should just teach guitar lessons, so I taught guitar lessons, and then like, oh, you should sell T-shirts, so I made some T-shirts. But like, I feel like that kind of takes away from like all the work that went into what you did. Like you definitely put in all the effort. You made those things happen. It's one thing to be like, oh, I could sell a T-shirt. Yeah, well, you actually went ahead and made that happen. So maybe talk to
Yeah.
me or us about like, yeah, all your like how you monetize yourself so well, and then maybe any future plans you have in that sense. If you're okay going into that, I know because it's more like a business question.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's a tough thing to figure out, and I think I was terrible at it for a long time. Um, I mean, the reason I say that is because I used to get these emails where fans would be like, would literally write like, "How do I give you money?" People would just be like, "Hey, I watch all your content and I want to support. Like, hey, do you, is there like a donate button? Like, literally, I just want to give you money." And I felt like kind of embarrassed and weird about it. I was like, man, what am I doing? And yeah, and that's basically when I started listening to the community, and they started saying things like, sell T-shirts or do this or do that. And inside of that, is a lot of culling of ideas, right? Sometimes people suggest stuff that you're just never going to do. Or sometimes, ideas are just so niche that it doesn't make sense to produce it. But, if you're able to listen to all the things that your community might shout at you, um, they will tell you what they're ready for, which is really interesting and not something that I ever considered when I started this. But I think a lot of people get into content production. They're like, all right, I'm going to like make my Discord. I'm going to make all my merch. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And your community isn't really ready for that. And maybe when your community looks at you, they're like, man, this guy's trying too hard, you know? Whereas if you just wait for them to yell at you, you wait until they're really hungry for it. And they're like, where is our Discord? Why don't we have an official Discord? Or why don't we have official merch? Then you finally make it. Then they're all excited. They all run out and buy it. And that was not a master scheme by me. That's just literally what happened. Whoops, you know. Um, but I would say diversify as much as you can, and I would say that um, if you can create interesting merch that is on brand and has a very clear value statement, if you ran a YouTube channel that was all about planning and organization, and you could sell a calendar, perfect. You know what I mean? Like whatever you sell as a musician should be on brand to give value to your audience. And that doesn't mean selling music, which is maybe the hardest piece of advice for a lot of musicians. But whether you want to admit it or not, I think everyone views music as being free now. You just watch it on YouTube or you get on Spotify and it feels like it's free even if you're paying for it every month. People don't see music as a commodity that involves a transfer of funds. You just get music. So if you're a musician and you're trying to monetize yourself, hopefully you have a personality and some ideas, because it's not going to be selling music. Unfortunately, it's just not. Um, and I don't even, for me, the merch isn't even a big one either. Um, that doesn't sell great. It sells fine, enough for me to keep it live and keep doing it. But the tabs sell a lot better, and the lessons sell a lot better. The things that people associate me with, they associate me with learning. So all of the like learning based stuff I have on my website sells well. Um, I even think it's kind of strange that people would walk around with a Lessons with Marcel T-shirt. Like, you're advertising your guitar teacher. And so it's wild that people do. Thank you so much, but that doesn't seem like it makes as much sense as them going out and buying like a book, that I wrote.
Right. I think it's pretty cool. I guess you don't have any shirts at the moment, right? You said you're going to be kind of getting back into that game soon. I know you sell the hats with the different serial numbers on them, which are really cool. I don't know if you want to plug that. You can plug that right
That's
now if
right.
you'd like.
Yeah, so there's no shirts right now. Basically, we had a fulfillment problem, and I wasn't happy with the quality. And then we started a deal with someone else, but it kind of fell through. So we're looking at other ways to get shirts back online. It's not the highest priority for us, but I do want to do it. And knowing me, I can tell you what's going to happen. I haven't admitted it fully to myself yet, but I already know that I'm going to buy a screen printing rig and I'm going to print it myself. Once again, I haven't fully accepted that, but I know that that's going to happen in like 4 months.
Right.
Because I'm
Yeah.
insane. Because I learned how to animate cartoons in a week for a podcast, you know? Yeah,
Right. So you're
it'll
able
happen.
to, yeah, you'd figure out all the kind of things you need to do. Because yeah, I looked into that too. You know, like for the future, whenever I've built out my, I have this idea for these like comedic shirts for like kind of involving bands, but I won't drop that yet. I don't want anyone, you know. But yeah, the whole idea behind that, and I was looking into the different.
Stealing your idea.
Yeah, well, yeah, I won't give you the. But anyways, it doesn't matter. But the whole point was I was looking into the print on demand, and my biggest worry is like for me, I would like this gonna like I'll be like dramatic about it, but like I'd rather sell my shirt for $80, and when the person like my like follower open it, it's like wow, this is high quality. Then sell one for $35 where it's like comes in, it's not really what they expected. You know what I mean? Like I would have no
Yeah.
problem selling something for $80 as long as it met the expectation or exceeded the expectation, right?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, if that's what you want, we're getting into the nitty gritty now, but if that's what you want, then you should just buy bulk. And of course, the problem with buying bulk is that you actually hold stock, you know, so you're left with a million extra smalls and a million triple XLs. But that's kind of the way to go. I agree. If you want a quality T-shirt, then you should just do it for real. But if it's print on demand, yeah, they're not screen printing them, right? They're using different print methods that they can do, you know, one-off designs. Whereas if you really truly screen print something, you want to do like 200 of them, you know. So
Right.
it's a tough bag to deal with, man. But in the back of my mind, I think to myself like, well, that's what you're good at, though. You're the production guy, right? Surely you can figure out how to make T-shirts, and I think I will.
Hey, that's cool. And then like at least you have the quality control, right? And then you're giving your audience like something of quality, and you can stand behind it. Um, so
Yeah, yeah.